Hey, what's up? What's up, YouTube family? It is IK right here. And yeah, I am back with another good video for y'all today. But before we get down to business, um, be sure to like this video, share it, do what you gotta do, and be sure to support the grind. So yeah, let's talk about it, man. I have a lot to talk about, but we are going to be discussing Mortal Kombat 1. What is next for this game and what to expect from Mortal Kombat 2, if that is to be the next game on NetherRealm Studios' list. Should Injustice 3 come back? Should we see another Injustice to keep the fans, a little bit entertained with that before we could see another Mortal Kombat come to fruition? This video is going to be covering a lot of topics. So the very first topic I'm really going to be breaking down is Injustice 3. We will be talking about Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. And then we will talk about the state of Mortal Kombat 1. And we will talk about Mortal Kombat 2, what to expect with that game. But actually, let me talk about Mortal Kombat 1. Let me get that out the way. And then we'll talk about Injustice 3. So, yeah, sorry about that. So, yeah. My thoughts on Injustice, my thoughts on Mortal Kombat 1, I'm sorry, in terms of where that game will go, in terms of the balance patching and everything that's there in the game, I really do believe NetherRealm Studios is not going to be patching the game as effectively. And I will say this, if the Pro Comp is to be supported still by NRS and other big time sponsors within the FGC, I will very well assume that the state of Mortal Kombat is going to be determined by how much demand that the fans are still willing to support for the game. Because if you really do think about it, the FGC tournaments are supported by the people that play the game. The amount of money that NetherRealm Studios has with people that buy the DLCs, do anything out of that level to get sponsors involved to say, okay, we could have Nike, we could have all these big companies support, these FGC tournaments that NRS is holding, which it's basically being held by like a third party contractor, company, that being Evo, CEO, CGL, what else? Combo Breaker and Final Combat. I mean, there's like a whole plethora of like many different tournaments. It's kind of similar to like boxing and the amateur scene, where, if you're coming out in the sport, you're doing the amateurs, but sadly, like, not many opportunities are paid out to you, so you're kind of just taking a lot of like, I should say, you're taking punishment without getting compensated for it. So that's a really hard investment to do. And that has similar sentiment with the FGC, competition lifestyle, where, shout out to Tom Brady. Tom Brady has pretty much expressed his, oh man, I'm sorry. Yeah. Tom Brady has expressed his thoughts on this, and I wholeheartedly agree. You cannot make a full-time career out of just playing video games professionally. And I don't like even for your favorite YouTubers that you like watching, like Rad Brad, Ink Slasher, that covers Call of Duty content, or I'll use like other big time YouTubers that I loved watching, growing up, like Chris Smooth, all these like really good YouTubers that started out when YouTube was fresh. The lifestyle of YouTube, regardless of what the apocalypse, I guess like a monetization thing that went down. It's not a career for you to just go out of your way and just make YouTube videos and just expect for yourself to be rich off of that forever. No, you should do other investments. You should focus on other careers because that's what YouTube is. YouTube is a good like supplemental career to make money, but you should also use that money to expand your money. Now with the FGC, however, not a lot of people think like that. A lot of guys go into like these really messed up financial, you know, debt journeys where they're having to waste money to compete in a tournament when they don't even have to do this. Like, if anything, your best chances to even really be making good money is to probably do YouTube, but also get a career so you don't have to like think about wasting any money to go out to a FGC event. But it's like like financially speaking, you should not even be wasting any time going to offlines. If you could win online tournaments where the cards are leveled out properly, you can do that. But with common sense, you should never really be thinking about competing in FGC tournaments and just thinking like that's going to be like your goal to be like super duper rich. No. Like that is like a recipe for disaster, and like like you're walking on eggshells where you're not even reaching a actual career. So I would say you should really look into a good career that you do, and you apply your skills and apply your credentials, and you don't have to think twice about wanting to like do a really senseless mindset of just being a pro gamer. Because granted, like there are good opportunities out there where I'm pretty sure within like the gaming industry, if you're well known and people know who you are, why not try to apply for like gaming tester roles? If you love video games that much, why not become a tester? Because if you have connections, or if you have that experience to be a good high level gamer for, let's just say, fighting games, apply for QA analyst. Well, no, I don't think that's the proper role. Apply for like quality assurance, like gamer tester roles, and that will very well get you a lot better in better opportunities rather than just saying, "Oh, I'm just doing FGC gaming all day." But furthermore, just shoot for like a really good career and build off of that, and don't be like the type of dude where you just go out of like your way being like a messed up dropout and you don't think twice about ever being successful, because that's not a healthy mindset to live. And I'm pretty sure there's plenty of guys that I have ran into in the past that have thought like that, and then they end up being failures, and then they don't have a career. Versus like a person like myself, I may not have everything that I do want, but I have things in place where I've put my hard-earned money to be saved, and I know what I want to do with my life, and I'm getting closer to my goals, and I have goals put in place to get to my career where I'm not giving up on that. Like that's a devoted individual that has a career to to go for, and you have high ambitions to get to where you want to be. Now, as far as MK1 goes, sorry that I spoke a little bit off topic, but yeah, back to my whole point with Tom Brady. Tom Brady was very well right about the game. The game is very well dying, but this game has probably a little bit more life left until it becomes officially dead. And I will give another shout out to Mike Hollow. He's a really good YouTuber. Definitely go check him out. What's only keeping this game alive is simply I will say, the online casual base that wants to come back and just play regular versus. And I will say maybe just some of the people that like to play Combat League. But overall, it's probably just, a little bit of the mass population of people that just play casually. And we're not really too certain how many players like on a crossplay level with all console platforms are still playing online. But I will say probability chances that somebody is hopping on into MK1 are probably people that are usually coming off from work that is just probably going to load up the game and just have some fun. So that will probably be like a 5 out of 10 chance of you seeing somebody on MK1, but they're not really like playing the game actively. So I will say matchmaking is still bad. The character balancing is horrible. Um, we need to have better structuring with making sure the matching skill level is in the right category. I think that's important for players to have proper skill level with the right competition. But on top of that, the character balancing is really bad for MK1. So that's another thing. You know the, I don't know if it's of the developers, but I will say that NRS is just going out of their way, treating treating the fan base horribly, and I don't think that we're getting anywhere closer to a better how should I say to a better structure where we can see a better game that can be catered to the fans. So I'm just not too sure where things will go with the balancing, because if the pro comp is to be like if the pro comp is to be supported, the only way that this game ever gets better is that more balance patches come out, and then all the broken characters that you see, like Omni Man, Homelander, all the broken cameos like Farah, Janet Cage, Ermac, Sindel, Tremor, just get rid of all this nonsense, man. Like MK1 is just a dying mess, and it's just sad because it's like this game was supposed to be like the best game of this current generation, and I feel like NRS or Warner Brothers, they screwed this up because, like, one, they're not even caring because they're just trying to get money, but two, it's just kind of they're just kind of like milking everything out until everything fails. And I think that's a horrible business model, to crap on the consumer, and the consumer has to wait so long within a yeah like the consumer has to wait such a long time just to get a good game coming to them. And it's like there's like no way for anybody within the community to like make any changes to a game that could be like open source code to like mod it if they want to see something different. Like, for example, like I know for PC at least, because for those of you that don't know, I am a huge PC gamer. But games like Call of Duty Black Ops 3, you're able to mod that game and you can have as much fun as you want on that game. And for modding per se for Call of Duty, well, like for the Black Ops 3 zombies at least, and I know for Black Ops 2 you can mod it for PC, but for Black Ops 3, like, the zombies for modding is so much fun where you could actually enjoy the game and actually do like what you want to do. And I think that's a really good thing to have for the community, because Call of Duty Black Ops 3 Zombies, it was good, but it wasn't that supreme. Yeah, it wasn't that supremely great for the game, because eventually the game got a little bit like it got a little bit too like watered down, and people just didn't have that much fun on the game anymore. So with modding that brings more players to the game to have more fun, that's a really good addition to the game, to give players more incentive to actually enjoy the game and actually do what they want to do. So I think that's something that NRS should have. But on top of that, gamers should have more freedom to kind of like interact with people with matchmaking. So therefore, we could have better lobbies. I think that's also the main issue too. Um, the rank system needs to have kind of like a lobby structure where when you're waiting for a game, you could be like, well, it should be like a lobby where if you are like in the high elo type of sector, you could do like a free play type of mode where you can like wait for people to challenge you, but you're also searching for a match inside a lobby. So you could be like a ranked individual, but it's like all the lobbies are set where you're developing your rank, but you're also in a lobby to challenge people. And basically just have like continuous matches where you're having enough how should I say, having enough freedom to pick and choose what you want to do. But also on top of that, same thing for casuals. Like casuals definitely needs lobby rooms for crossplay and just anything in general. Like if you want to have like a lobby where you could like join like an actual tournament and people can kind of like face up against really good players to kind of get their skills up, or just have like your traditional lobbies where you could have King of the Hill lobbies, you could have versus mode, or you could have tag team. I really wish tag team was there because tag team could really make the game a lot better if you could do it in a online setting, whether it's just 1v1 with two characters each for each player, or just actual 2v2 where you're both online with like another player. And that's another great thing that NRS should have done. But yeah, that's pretty much it with MK1. I think MK1 should have been a little bit better with having to structure the game to balance it out a lot better for the fans. And if the bouncing is going to be swung in that direction, I'm hoping that the characters that should get buffs a little bit more, like a Sub-Zero, or maybe buff like, I don't know, like buff Raiden, so therefore he could have some of his moves to be viable, and his new move to be better, so therefore he could still keep his like electric ball buff that he puts inside his body, so like he can I guess like still keep it whether if he's like blocking up against a like opponent, so it doesn't go like away. But that's a whole different story for like what I would do to balance out with the game. But yeah, let's talk about what's next on the list. Let's talk about Injustice 3. So my thoughts on Injustice 3 is that I think Injustice 3 could very well possibly be the next game, because if you think about it, NRS has a lot of investment with Warner Brothers, with a lot of Injustice-based content, and I wouldn't be surprised if Injustice 3 was to be developed, and that would kind of like cater to let the fans to kind of give you like a pretty decent game to have. But honestly, I wouldn't also mind maybe like Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe. Maybe have like another game like that, because if you do think about it, like there are a lot of great opportunities that you could do with MK versus DC too, because instead of having Injustice, if people don't like that game, why not just make a MK versus DC game, and then that game will give like that game will give players a lot more options to kind of like enjoy what they want to enjoy. So I just think if you want to kind of like give players a good incentive to play a game that they do enjoy, I think if I was NRS, I would try to like work with the Warner Brothers to revisit MK versus DC universe, because that is a better version of having the Injustice games, but it's with MK characters and DC universe characters. So I just think that's just something that I would do, because I don't know what else could really be better from MK, well, from Injustice, because yes, like you could do maybe like some other games like um I don't even know. I think maybe you could try to like revisit uh yeah, I'm just not too sure, bro, because I'm really trying to think about like what are some other options that DC could do. But in terms of like fighting games, like I think that's pretty much it. I mean, you could have something similar to like a DBZ Fighter Z type of fighting arena based game for like DC universe characters, but um yeah, I don't think it's really necessary. So I would personally just say just give us MK versus DC universe, and then we'll be fine with that with like a second game. Or if you're gonna bring back Injustice, like make sure Mortal Kombat characters are brought into the roster, and people could actually like enjoy playing it. So that's just something that I would do. And I think Injustice 3 should not be produced, but I think it would be better to kind of see like MK versus DC, and then that'll be good. But yeah, that's pretty much it with that. Let's talk about MK Legacy Collection. My thoughts on that. I'm not really too how should I say? I'm not too hyped for that, because the problem with this is that I really do feel like NRS is gonna try to lowball the fans with not giving us a proper structure, um, like a proper structure for the game. And if you do think about it, there are many opportunities that NRS could do to give the fans what they want to pay for. But I just feel like deep down there's gonna be something where they're gonna like pull the plug on some good games that should come to all platforms, and then they're not gonna be smart about it. So my whole take is that I would hope that for the Legacy Collection, um, they actually give the fans what we want, and once they do that, then that'll rebirth like all the old school games to the fans, and then everybody will be satisfied with the game. But I think for the games that should be on this Legacy Collection should be all the popularized 3D era games. I would go with Mortal Kombat Deception, Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, MK Shaolin Monks. We should have MK4 remastered, which MK4 is coming to the game, and I would really hope that for the graphics, they really do update the graphics for the game. If they do that, that's going to be really good, and I'll be happy if they actually do that. So, what I would say that they should improve better with is probably kind of give like basically give the fans a lobby option to kind of like select what type of game that you want to play. And I think like for the games that you can play for your options, you can kind of have like a playlist of like what type of games do you prefer for online, and just kind of have it just like that. So I think Legacy Collection will be a really good addition to the game, but it's gonna it's gonna be interesting, because you're gonna get MK1, you're gonna get MK3, you're gonna get MK2, MK4, but the problem with Deadly Alliance, like as it speaks, is that for Deadly Alliance, you're not going to get like the 3D version era game. They're gonna give you like the Game Boy Advance version, which is really crappy and really garbage. So, and on top of that, for those that are interested in hearing this, like the developers that are gonna work behind this will be the developers that developed the Street Fighter back in the old days. So I'm not too sure how they're gonna really be doing this. If anything, they should have been a little bit smarter with with kind of like having like a good development team with this. But ideally, if this is just kind of like a beta development to the game, And this game is going to probably come out possibly by October. Um, I'll be happy to see that because I do believe that's what I was hearing, that this game will drop. It'll be good to see, but I'm just hoping that for what they post out to the community, that's just the beta collection of like what you see right now. But then they're gonna add like the 3D era games later on. So I think that would be really good. I think that would be something to enjoy as a MK fan, because if you do think about it, like you have so many options to kind of just put it out there, and then the fans will be happy with it. But then after that, you have to like give us the 3D era games, because let's just say if MK2 doesn't sell well, you have the Legacy Collection where you can give us MK9, you could give us Deadly Alliance, you can give us MK versus DC Universe if you want to add that in there. I'm totally fine with that, have all remastered titles, Like I don't understand like why companies don't want to do that, because maybe it's probably like a money thing, but I really don't think it's a money issue. I just think it's more like maybe taking like the time and resources to kind of build that type of like platform. But I don't think that really makes any sense, because I mean, take a look at Call of Duty. Like Call of Duty's not doing great with Warzone, but the Call of Duty application has literally almost every Call of Duty, well, not every Call of Duty, but all the Call of Duty games that you love playing, like Call of Duty, like Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 1, and Modern Warfare 3, like that application is a great example to show you like that application has all the games like basically interconnected, where if you don't feel like playing, remastered Modern Warfare 2, you could just play old school Modern Warfare 2, and then it's just like right there. You could just click out of that and then click right into old school Modern Warfare 2 or old school Modern Warfare 1. And I think that's a really beautiful idea if that's something that NRS can do. Like if NRS did something like that, that would easily make a lot of people happy, and definitely give the fans more incentive to want to play the game. So I think that's just something to kind of like put out for food for thought. But it's gonna be interesting to see like where things go, because if the fans don't speak up on it, then I feel like NRS is gonna try to use what they want to use for try to leverage the amount of money that they're gonna get, and then it's not gonna sell as well as people make it out to be. So I'm hoping for a Legacy Collection they do a good job with that. They don't try to rat people out, and then after that, that'll just be good. But now that I have that out the way, let me talk about the other topics about MK2 and what would be the future of this game. Um, yeah, so for MK2, I have a particular mindset where I want to see like all the old school mechanics brought into this game. I think Mortal Kombat deserves to have a massive like remaster of like all the old school modes. Like bring back motor combat, bring back chess combat. If you do that, you're gonna make like literally all the fans happy. So I would hope that that's something that they'll do, and that'll be awesome, man. I'll be so happy to see that. So um, the one thing I would like to see is I want to see I want to see weapon combat come back, where when you're like in a fight, you can like literally like switch to your weapon while you're doing a combo. I think that's something that no other game really does, where you can like use your weapon while doing a combo, but it's like you're like transitioning to the weapon. Like you're not just kind of like doing it where the weapon just automatically comes on when you just press like a button. Like no, like if you want to use like your weapon, you can like activate a certain special ability to activate your weapon. But it would be kind of like Soul Calibur in a way where, well, no, I wouldn't want to use Soul Calibur because Soul Calibur, that's a whole different like ball game with how they use your particular weapon because it's already like it's already set up within, yeah, it's already set up within the game. But how I'm trying to explain is like when you play Mortal Kombat, the game itself should give you that ability, similar to like what you saw with MK Deception and MK Armageddon and Deadly Alliance, where when you use your particular weapon, that weapon came out of a combo that you did. So as you start, getting into your little combo extension, that's going to give you far more how should I say, like leverage to kind of do what you want to do. So I think that's just something that I personally would like to see. So I think having weapon combat back into the game would be really good because, if you want to play as like Sub Zero or Scorpion, you could use like different weapons within a combo, but those weapons kind of give you like a lot more a lot more versatility to kind of use like what you want to use. So I think that would be really fun to see. So yeah, I like to see that. I like to see defensive parries come back to the game. Um, what I mean by that is that uh, there's several ways that you can go about doing this. When you parry an opponent, uh, the opponent should be the opponent should be with punish when you have a good opportunity to basically like combo parry the opponent, like before they're able to even get a shot off of you. So like if you get hit with the first hit, but then the second or third hit, if you guess right, then you can parry them. Or before they even hit you, I'm totally fine with you parrying somebody. So then once you parry, you just go right at it, and then the opponent has to hold it. So I think that's a really good structure to have. Also, what MK2 needs to fix on is the corner pressure. I think corner pressure needs to be fixed with MK games, and usually for MK1, I will say for that game, that corner pressure was good, but it wasn't that great because you kind of got bullied within most of like your matches. But I will say MKX is like a really good example because a lot of people like to say that game is like one of the most goated games, and people love playing that game. But the truth of that game is like that game was very very fast. You had to basically guess right out of like one out of like a million chances that you could possibly like lose, let the entire game or the entire match if the opponent is just mix up pressuring you all day. So it's like if you play like, let's just say, I'll just say like Melina, or if you play, let's just say Tremor or Cyrax or Sector, they all have crazy mix up pressure. I'll use Alien. That's a very good example. Um, all of those characters that I mentioned are like super duper mix up heavy, where if they hit you one time, you are just getting vortex every single day. And I personally main Ermac, and I used to play Ermac a lot. And Ermac is like one of the best like mix up pressure defensive read characters, where if you guess wrong up against Ermac can just hit you with the soul ball. He can detonate you. He can launcher you in like into the air, and he could basically do whatever he wants because it's like Ermac is just built to be a very strong character where you don't have to think much with them. Like, you also have to be a little bit careful with how you kind of use, like, basically use Ermac. So I will say with MKX, that game really proved a lot of uh, broken mechanics and fundamentals that the game had a lot of problems for. So yeah, that game definitely needed a lot of fixing, but that's something that NRS should probably consider for MK2. MK2 should definitely not have the insane mix up wall pressure combos that people like to do to kind of get plus frames to be safe, on block. And I just don't like that. So another thing that MK needs to fix is like when you're about to win the game, don't have that slow motion nonsense where when you're winning the game and you've already won the match, you go into slow motion, before you finish your opponent with a combo. I don't think that was very, I don't think that's very smart. I think that's like a really dumb. Oh man, I'm sorry. Just getting a little bit tired. I think that's a really poor mechanic to have into the game when you're already in a good combo, and once you finish like your combo, you should have the ability to finish them, as quickly as possible. The final hit for you to win the match should not be like slowed down. It should be like any other game where like once you beat them, you can kind of finish it off and just brutality them or just beat them. Yeah, just beat them down. But yeah, I wanted to throw that out there. What's another thing? Also when it comes to like fatal blows or the X-ray, right? Um, Fatal blows and X-rays should not have armor. I used to kind of button mash when I was like younger to think like that was kind of a good thing to have, but sadly, no. Having those particular functions in fighting games should not be allowed because, um, for one, it kind of gives players like a way out to spam. So like if they're not doing good in the game but they're barely like winning to like keep up with you because they're just spamming like certain moves to kind of keep themselves safe to like outzone you. I think like the fatal blow shit should not have any armor. If you manage to hit the opponent before they even get close to throwing a projectile or trying to like wake up punish you, no, I don't think the armor on fatal blows should really matter. Like if I armor you to like let's just say if I'm playing like I don't know, like if I'm playing Johnny Cage and you're playing let's just say Melina and I come close to whipping to beating you, but you end up using your fatal blow and I use like kind of like an armored kick in order to hit you, you should not be able to have armor with your fatal blow. If I have armor and I hit you first before you hit me, then I should get rewarded for that. But let's just say if I didn't have any armor and you still did not have like enough frames to produce the fatal blow to hit me, then I should hit you because you should not be given armor where if I should win the game, you automatically should be punished when I hit you with like, the final hit to be safe like off of my input in order to win the game. I think that's the biggest flop that I don't like out of NRS with what they do, and they need to fix that because that is really one that's just crappy, and two it's like it like it kind of gives players a false sense of security to think that they're better than you when they're really not, and I think it's really trash and it's horrible for the game. So Yeah, that's pretty much it with that. What are some other things that I want to, I guess, with MK2? Um, I think with MK2, they need to bring back character interactions in the game, like kind of like what you saw with Mortal Kombat X. I think that would be really good for the game to kind of like give you lore insights of like what the characters have to say to each other. I think that would be pretty cool. Bring back stage transitions, like kind of like back in the old days with UNK3. That would be awesome to see. And maybe bring back stage fatalities. I think stage fatalities make sense, and also have have stage brutalities. I think that was something that MK1 did not do. They didn't even bring stage brutalities or stage fatalities. I think that was just garbage, like of like a for the game. But yeah. What are some other things? Oh, also, for MK2, make sure that we have character presets with our skins and maybe our gear loadouts. That would be pretty good if they kind of did something like that from MK11, where you had the progress to be carried over time, where you have like your preset skins and you have like everything that you want to use. That would be pretty good. And then I would also probably say make sure that oh man, I'm not too sure what else I wanted to say after that. Like I would kind of just go off with that. And oh, also, um if we're going to have like our own type of move sets to kind of like use whatever moves that we want, instead of having like the variation system, every character should kind of be given their own moves to use, but it's based out of a certain stance that you use. So if you want to use like well, I'm not I'm not I'm not too sure how that would work out. If you have like weapon combat be implemented as its own variation, the weapon combat should be initiated for the character to kind of use special abilities for their weapon. But if you want to use like your actual base abilities for the character, like for example, like if Sub Zero has all of his variations where he has Ice Ball, he has Ice Slide, he has Polar Palm where he could freeze you with like that one hit, and then let's just say if he could use like Ice Parry or stuff like that, that's based out of different variations that you use. So instead of one particular variation that Sub Zero uses, if you want to use different moves, you switch to a different variation of that fighting set while you're in a combo, and then you could also kind of like convert it into a different combo. So that's just kind of something that I wanted to kind of like add that in there because I think NRS would very well be benefited off of that idea if anybody is basically listening in on that. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I'm pretty much done hashing it out with MK2, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what that game will look like. But that's not gonna come out until like a long time from now. So hopefully it's a good game, and hopefully what the fans can kind of get what they deserve. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's like my little TED talk. So hope you guys enjoyed. I got more content coming out, and yeah, I'll be around, and yeah, I'll see you guys. And until next time, all right, be sure to like, rate, comment, subscribe. I'll see y'all later.